Man, do you like podcasts? Well then,
welcome to
No Gimmicks Needed!
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
this is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. Now we're going to move on to the new we're going to talk about the new docuseries, WWE Unreal, that's on Netflix. Now, QFO, you have not seen this yet, right?
I don't plan on watching it. Like, I get it. We in a new era, but we got to keep the kayfabe alive, bro. I don't need to know everything. Oh. I don't need to know how the hot dog is made, bro. Just give me the hot dog.
I am so going to go in a little bit more on that when we get to that.
Like, yeah. If that's what, I mean, that's what it's looking like. And it's like, bro, y'all killing this kid. You know it's a problem when Cardi B is backstage asking Randy Orton and Logan Paul, can y'all be seen on camera together?
Oof.
I don't need to know everything. Like I like the level of knowledge that we got. I don't need to know everything. I have no intention of watching.
Okay, now to be fair, for somebody, because me and Quanto both watched it, unfortunately we do not know everything, because honestly, there are some people that have said that this docuseries is unreal. Because here's the thing, WWE is only going to show you what they want you to see. And that is, there is still things that they just keep under wraps. Because when we get to episode 4, Q-Flow, that's the episode I had the most problems with. I had the most problems with that episode. Because the episode thing goes like this. It goes, the first episode is the Raw on Netflix. Episode 2 is focusing on Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. Episode 3 is focused on the women. And the women that they focus on the most is Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green, and Charlotte Flair. Episode 4 is Elimination Chamber with the John Cena heel turn. And then episode 5 is WrestleMania. So each time, I think that this series here, it was made for like my son or my sister. Because my sister used to she's one of those, I watched wrestling in 2000 and that was it. You know, back during that part of the Attitude Era, that's how my sister was. I'm like, okay, so she does not know all the inner workings of how wrestling goes. She may know some, but she don't really know how all the inner workings are. And the one thing is, there were things in the show that I felt as though they explained that I think people really should know. Like the whole gorilla position and how that is formed and how they have to build it at every arena that they go to. And when it comes to who is backstage on them tables and who's a timekeeper, who's the match producer, all that stuff is interesting to me. Like
I just want to let you know, I can't tell you how many people, speaking about gorilla position, actually reached out to me and said, wow, I was amazed that they actually build it for every place. And I was just like, you've been to arenas. Did you just think that was there?
Some people probably just thought it was like, it's a section in the back. No, they had to build it. And it shows like what really goes into a match. And especially like how much the referees do have to do opposed to this count to 3. Like, that was something that my wife was intrigued by. When it was talking about like the referees getting the cues of what they're supposed to do and how they got to also help control the flow of the match. Because sometimes people can go too fast, too slow, pick it up, slow it down, type thing. And then also it gives you a eye on the other producers, which I like. Like they show Gregory Helms, Jason Jordan, Bobby Roode, Chris Park. Like, those are all previous wrestlers that were back there who helped produce matches. And they even brought up Billy Kidman's name, who is the one who, like, keeps the time of the matches. And then, of course, Bruce Pritchard and Triple H cueing the different cameras that needs to catch those shots and stuff. I thought all of that stuff, like, especially when he talked about the gorilla position, was interesting. The stuff, like, leading up to it, I felt as though was, it's like pick or choose, because you kind of know something. Like, for instance, let's go on to episode. Episode 1, we talk about Raw on Netflix. So they really talk to Rhea Ripley. And of course, they say what their government name is and what ring names they've gone by. And they go, and you see the life of Rhea Ripley and how Rhea Ripley really be having like panic attacks before she even go out there and turn to Rhea Ripley. Like all that shit is just character for her. And then, but she really be spazzing out. And when they was interviewing her, she was talking about like the one thing I did like was like she was like, listen, this Liv storyline been going on long enough. Like we all tired. This should be going on for like 3 years. Can we end it now? Like this got to be it now. Because we was all saying that when it was happening. Like this Liv storyline been going on for a while. And she kind of gave the rundown, and them going in there and like, okay, well, this is what we got to do. But she was sitting there like when she was talking to Damian Priest in the back and going down match like going through her whole match, and he was just like, okay, I get it, but you got to cut like some of that. You know what I'm saying? Less is better. For also that you're trying to do. And it just showed, her just trying to be able to go out there and perform right. They showed John Cena when he came out there and had the promo about what he's going to join the Royal Rumble and things like that. So that's basically what Night 1 was about. And of course, Paul Levesque, because Paul Levesque is literally the star of this show. He's all over the thing. So how he produces everything, and they go into the writer's room, and I was just like, now, I was looking around, I was just like, okay, let's see who's in the writer's room. Is this like, what kind of writer's room is this? Or is it going to be like a Tyler Perry's writer's room, where it's only like a person or just one? Okay? Or do we get to see multiple different ideas of what they have, planned or come up with? And I thought that was kind of intriguing, because I also think you need a vast, diverse amount of writers to be able to write for different superstars to try to tell different kind of stories. You can't just have one straight mind. So I like seeing that. Now, for episode 1, Quadro, did you like seeing any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it was something I was definitely interested in. But as I keep seeing and learning more about it, I think more in episode 2 when they went into like certain storylines and stuff, which I'm sure you'll get to. That's when I start to feel like when Q-Flow was said. Like I said, my favorite food is hot dogs. Don't tell me how it's made. I don't need to know that. I just want the hot dog.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's good. We can just go right in episode 2. Is focused on Jey Uso, and they was in the writers' room, and they said that okay, what are we going to do about the Royal Rumble? Who do you think should win the Royal Rumble? And a lot of people said CM Punk. That was the original choice to win the Royal Rumble. Because talk for me real quick, Quadro, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up what the WrestleMania card was supposed to be, and then how things have changed.
So from what I remember, what they was talking about, they said they wanted to start by having CM Punk win the Royal Rumble, and then he was going to go over on to, I think, was it fight Cody? Is that how that was going to go?
No,
because Cody was the champ at the time.
No.
So he would have won the Royal Rumble.
Okay, so the plan was at first was, I forgot. Like I said, forgive me for not knowing all the writers' names. One of the writers said, let's do John Cena since it's going to be his last year. Let's play all the hits, and he can go and win the Rumble, and Punk can go win the Chamber. I feel as though it'll be easier for Punk to win the Chamber than it would for Cena to go win the Chamber. But they was just like, a lot of people were saying, well, why don't we just go and have CM Punk win the Rumble, go off and face Gunther at the Night 1 main event, and then have Cody and Cena win. So this was what the original WrestleMania plan card was. I pulled it up, okay? Which I think on certain aspects it would have been a stronger card, but it wasn't. So here's the thing. The proposed WrestleMania 41 card was Cody and Cena for the championship, Roman versus Seth, Gunther versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship, Rhea versus Bianca, just a one-on-one, Randy versus Kevin Owens, Wyatt Six versus the Judgment Day, Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax for the WWE Women's Championship, Becky Lynch and Charlotte versus Io Sky and Asuka for the Women's Tag Team Championships, AJ versus Logan Paul, Bad Bunny versus Dominic Mysterio, and Braun Breaker versus Drew McIntyre with Stone Cold Steve Austin as the special guest referee. Rey Mysterio with Travis Scott versus Chad Gable. Then Intercontinental Championship ladder match, United States Championship ladder match. The IC one would have been Jey Uso, Damian Priest, Sami Zayn, Sheamus, Bronson Reed, Ludwig Kaiser. United States Championship one would have been LA Knight, Jimmy Uso, Andrade, Solo Sikoa, Santos Escobar, Carmelo Hayes, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Now,
I don't know what's the most shocking thing said right there. I'm still kind of lost on Rey Mysterio and Travis Scott versus Chad Gable.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing. Those ladder matches would have made the card stronger, but the whole Stone Cold, I'm like, I don't even know how we would have got to that. Now, Stone Cold was there, but he was there running into people so he can read the attendance. That's what Stone Cold was doing at WrestleMania 41. But how he had got with the Braun Breaker and Drew McIntyre, I don't understand. Bad Bunny, I ain't even see Bad Bunny. I see Bad Bunny was Happy Gilmore too. So I was like, I ain't know Bad Bunny was even coming back. And Jay Cargill and Nia Jax, I wouldn't have liked that at all. Okay, I'm sorry. I wouldn't have liked that at all. YSX got injured, Kevin Owens got injured, and then the main event that they wanted, they got at SummerSlam. So Michael Hayes said, Jey Uso is hot. What if we got to catch fire when it's hot? And why don't we go and try the shock factor and have Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble? So Triple H kind of likes the idea and goes to Jey Uso and tells him, hey, listen, we're trying to strap a rocket to your ass. And, to see if you can handle it and have him go over in the Royal Rumble. So that was.
And Jay was like, I'm ready. Like,
Jay damn sure didn't say that, Quattro. Jay damn sure didn't say that. That man looked nervous as shit.
No, I remember they looked at it and Jay said, yeah, I'm ready. You can strap it on me.
Yeah, he said it, but after that handshake was done, they walked off. Jay looked nervous as shit. And then when he was talking to, when he was talking to him, his son, and Jimmy, and he was just talking about, basically was like to be the top star. He said, Jay was admitted, he said, bro, I be getting gassed from my entrance before I even go into the ring. And then he said that. And then the Royal Rumble from last year, he was like, bro, I was so blowed up. And he said, but they want me to go over on this one, so I would have to work harder. And, if they want me to come in at number 1, I'll come in at number 1. But Jay came in at number 15. So he didn't have to be in there as long as he did the day before. But, yeah, he said when it comes to his entrance, he be getting blown up. And he said as a tag wrestler, he get time to tag out and catch his breath and stuff like that. But as a singles guy, he has to just go, on and on with that. And it could be a lot of pressure that way. And I was just like, I like hearing, that stuff. So once again, that's the stuff that they showed in episode 2, mostly. I mean, there was other stuff also, but that's stuff that they showed in episode 2. And that's what I say, it didn't start bothering me until episode 4. That's where, like, where y'all get upset, but it's like, I wasn't upset by any of this stuff, because like, okay, y'all want to go with the Jey Uso plan? Sure, we can go do that. Oh, damn, I forgot to also talk about when they did the Seth Rollins and CM Punk match from Raw on Netflix, and how they went over, and what it looks like because like Bruce Prichard said, you would think because we're on Netflix, you can do 3 hours, you can do 4 hours, you can have all the time in the world. That's not true. You still got to have.
I forgot they went over that.
Yeah, you got to have a set time and a cutoff, because there's still restrictions that you got to abide by. With that, opposed to just saying it's Netflix, you can just do whatever you want. I like them explaining that and showing that they went over on time. And Chris Park was just like, I'm trying to get him to stop, Bruce. I really am. I'm trying, all that stuff. But it still was a good match. It did go long. I remember seeing. I was like, damn, this shit is not ending, because they was on Finisher Spam also. But I was just like, but they did show when how that stuff can go, mess up. Then we get to episode 3 when we talk to the women. You talk about Charlotte when she's coming back from her injury. And I think this did good for Charlotte, because it showed Charlotte as a human being. And Charlotte, like, I'm really just coming here, and I'm the daughter of Ric Flair. I didn't really want to do this. My brother got me into it. My brother died. And I'm really doing what they are basically putting me to do. and that's the championship. And she be hated for it. But she really loves, like, she fell in love with wrestling. Then she got injured. So when she came back into the Royal Rumble, like she was very excited about it. And they were showing her, backstage and say, check out my sparkling knee brace and stuff like that. And the other girls was excited for her coming back there as well. And and then, she was emotional about it. First off, I don't know why Ric Flair, his old ass with his cell phone was recording her surgery. Sit down, Pops. Because, that was a little weird. But however,
I do like how it did. I'm sorry, I just want to jump in. I did like how it did humanize her. And I do like that she understands the pressure she has on her. Because I think at one point she was like, what's the hardest part about being Charlotte Flair? The Flair part. Everyone expects me to be awesome at all times. And that's not possible. And I was like, yeah, you're not wrong.
No, not at all. And I agree with you when it came to the humanizing part. Then, we talk about Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair makes all her own gear. Literally, everything she did, she makes her own gear. You see Montez Ford in the back, and then they go over the hair whip as if, like, this shit is real. This is not no sound effect. This ain't no cute in anything. She whipping the fuck out them women. And they be showing the whelps on their body. Like, Liv Morgan took a whooping in the Elimination Chamber. Like, her body was all messed up. Even Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania took one across the arm and the torso. And
see, one thing about the hair whip, am I glad they said that? Yes. But at the same time, sound and physics. How in the world is it making that loud of an impact?
Well, she explained that. She explained. It's like you can turn a towel into a whip with physics. Like, if I hit you with a regular towel, it's not going to be. It's not going to hurt. But if I wind it up, maybe even wet it a little bit, and wind it up, and then kind of like flick it out my hands, it creates such a resistance that pop right there will whip you, and you feel that shit, right?
Yeah.
So, same thing with the hair. She told Rhea, she said, I got to make sure it hits the sound, so I got to make it thicker. And when you make it thicker up top, and then it goes down, it gets like, it has to go by, the weight and width. It goes down by, it gets smaller as it goes down. But if it's thicker, the thicker it can be at the end. And when you grab the end of it and you swing it, you can make that noise. And you can make, because she said it got to make the noise. If it don't make the noise, everything is null and void. So that's why I like them breaking that down, because when you have questions like you have right now, it pays for people to explain that.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, I appreciate her talking about the gear, her talking about the hair whip, and her talking about all the things that she's accomplished. I really like this is one of the things I wanted them to get into. I really wanted them to get more into their relationships with their coworkers. Because I think her and Rhea have a nice relationship. A friendship and a respect for one another that, I think is needed. Because Rhea was so, like, on panic mode. But going against Liv Morgan, right? But when she faces Bianca, she's calm. You saw that?
Yeah.
And she talked about, look, I'll be nervous and I'll be having panic attacks if I go out there. But when I'm working with Bianca, I'm at ease. She trusts her with her life. She said, I feel so safe with these women. And like, she was back there getting her hair done, laughing with Bianca, as Bianca telling her, I'm about to whip the shit out you tonight, just letting you know. But she felt,
now, just to raise the question about learning more about the relationships.
Yeah.
That would be like, we just watched everything that Becky and Lyra went through in their whole storyline. For Can you imagine seeing that? Then they just walk in the back. Oh, all hugs, laughing, breaking bread, having jokes and stuff, which we understand is real. But for someone that doesn't know or really dig into it, would that take away from the storyline for them? It's like, oh, y'all all full of it. Like, I kind of don't believe the story now. I'm not brought in on the emotion anymore.
Yeah, I agree, but that's why they won't show it during the storyline. They will show that during season 2, which is next year. See, what I'm saying is, we saw this at 6 months. Well, not at 6 months. I'm sorry. Because WrestleMania was in April, May, June, July. So we saw this about 3 months later. After that, Bianca ain't been on TV for a while. That storyline with them is done. So we don't need to be invested in that no more. Which and then it's like, okay, I see this there. It's like it gave it time to breathe. If I see Lyra and Becky Lynch walking, like they show footage of that night after the match, that's stupid. I wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying. But when they do Unreal season 2, because there's going to be a season 2, and they show like her talking about, well, my hands came out the twist ties, they were a little bit loose. That's not going to bother me because we're not going to be on that story next year. So that's why I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It's like, listen, I'm passionate about wrestling just like y'all are, but I'm not going to, like pick and choose stuff like that. I'm talking when it comes to relationships because I know Liv be Bianca's homie because Bianca has said that, especially in her show, her and Montez show. She said Liv is the homie. That's her homie backstage. So I'm cool with that. But her and Rhea got this respect. This is their division right now. And yes, Rhea keeps, talking about EL also. And yes, I respect EL, but them two, this is their division right there. And just seeing that, because remember, they were caught backstage hugging from some fan camera that they had to run off camera when they was hugging after their WrestleMania match. And I was hoping that they was going to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Also, but they didn't. And I was a little disappointed by that. They go into Chelsea Green, which I have the utmost respect for Chelsea Green. I love Chelsea Green. Matt Cardona is a lucky guy. And Chelsea Green, she was in there. She said, listen, she basically said, I know my role of what this is. So, if you need me, I'll do almost anything. You need me, I'll do it. And she was like, if you want to just go throw, chili and potatoes on my head, when she had that stuff with Michin in the dumpster match. If I, when it comes to, being comedic or selling, like she put a big emphasis on selling to make the other women's moves look good. And she felt as though like she's done all that, and she got like two big because she broke her arm twice in NXT, and they showed that. I was like, that sucked. Then she came back on SmackDown and broke the arm again, and then she got released. Then called Triple H for the job back. She got the job back, and she went out there. I think this has been the best version of Chelsea, the best version of Chelsea Green. And she
reminds me like I was saying. She reminds me like modern day of what I learned about Natalya. How they said, "Yo, Natalya is here for the job. Whatever you need Natalya to do, she'll do." And Chelsea Green seems like the updated version of that, even though Natalya's still there. So it's like that history of, I'm here for the business, and whatever you need for the business, even when it doesn't benefit me, I'm here, and I'll get mine eventually, one day.
And that's when they were talking about her becoming the new Women's United States Champion. And how she decided to do it. But it was funny when it was like, hey, we want you to have a finish of the leg drop. And she was like, the leg drop? And he's like, you ever heard of Hulk Hogan? Greg Hogan's like, Hulk Hogan. She's like, yeah, but that's not my finishing move. And once again...
And you know what? I'm going to stand by her on that one. Because that made sense, what she said. I'm doing my match, and my finish for the match won't be my finish. No. Why would I not do my move?
Because, and once again, Chelsea goes with everything. She says, I really had to fight back on doing it. She said, the unprettier is my finishing move. I'm not sitting here dropping no damn Hogan leg drop You know what I'm saying, on Michi, because that's just not my move. And especially off the top rope, and then they had her practice it. I'm just like, bro, that leg drops off the top rope gonna hurt the tailbone. Like, for real. Like, we want anybody else to find any other finishing move other than dropping that leg off the top rope, Matt Hardy. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why he ain't got no tailbone left neither, or no knees. But she won the United States Championship. They showed the gear that she had with it. It had all her face all over it. I thought that was a good moment, and how excited she was for side plates. But it did suck, though, when she had got all her family tickets to come to Survivor Series. But they didn't have it because she wasn't on the card. That sucked. You know, and I was just like...
and she understood, and that's a real problem with the business. Just because it's in your home don't mean you booked. So, and of course you got to book ahead of time. So I understand exactly what happened. It's just unfortunate she was on that side of it.
Yeah, she was on that side of things. Episode 4, this the one that bothered me, Q-Flow. Now, it focuses on John Cena's heel turn. And it focuses on what they were going to do going into WrestleMania and what were they going to make it, because they didn't want white meat babyface versus white meat babyface when it came to Cena and Cody. So The Rock had proposed the idea of having Cody go heel, obviously, right? And then Dave was just like, we not really ready for that right now. And they were float out some other ideas. And even The Rock flew out an idea which I thought was absolutely stupid. Do you agree with me on this one, Charles? See, I haven't said your name out loud. I apologize. I was pissed.
You talk about the KO idea, right?
Yeah, that KO idea was stupid.
Oh, no, explain it first. Explain it first. That way the people know.
Okay. By the way, Q-Flow, are you still with us? Probably not. Okay. Well,
yeah. No. I'm here. I'm here.
So, are you ready to hear this KO idea?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, this is what Dwayne had planned. Because, by the way, Dwayne had his own creative team come with him, which is a red flag automatically, because the guy who he got there don't work for WWE no more. Ain't worked there in a long time. We'll get to that, though. So the Rock says, why don't we have Cody come out? This is Elimination Chamber right now. And then Kevin Owens comes out. And we do an impromptu match with Cody and Kevin Owens, where Kevin Owens wins the championship from Cody Rhodes. Then he can either, I don't know if it was work with The Rock for that month leading up to WrestleMania, or whatever the case may be, and then Cody wins the championship back from KO at WrestleMania. Let me tell you why all of that wouldn't have worked. Number one, KO had an unsanctioned match with Sami Zayn that night. And you want Kevin Owens to win the championship.
Bro, don't even watch the show.
You want Kevin Owens to win the championship from Cody Rhodes in Canada? In Canada. They would have worshipped Kevin Owens. He wouldn't have been no heel. That would have been the greatest thing that they have seen, because everybody been wanting Kevin Owens to win a championship since 2017 when he lost it to Goldberg. They've been wanting him to get that championship back. And you think that idea was going to work. And, wait a minute. Let me finish. Kevin Owens found out that he had that serious neck problem, so that means he would have to vacate the title anyway. That shit was stupid. That was completely... I said... Wait a minute, he ain't think that. There's no way. And I'm like, bruh, there's a reason why everybody got to stay in LA. So they had then they came up with the idea, I think Bruce Pritchard was, and said, why don't we turn John Cena heel? Now, they had the 5 people they had to talk to. They kept this close knit because it's John Cena. And if anybody knew about it, it wouldn't have worked. It's John Cena, The Rock, Travis Scott, Bruce Pritchard, and Paul Levesque. Those are the circle of 5 people that knew. And when Triple H called The Rock. Now The Rock, he's sitting there. The Rock's sitting there saying like, And Triple H was like, listen, are you going to just me and then don't bullshit me. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Said wait till the end so you don't like it. Then The Rock was like, I love it. All that bullshit, right? The next person in this order, Q-Flow, that Triple H calls is Travis Scott. You mean to tell me y'all called Travis Scott?
You called Travis before you called Cena?
I said, what? To make sure he goes over the heel turn, and if he's cool with it, before even they talk to Cena last. This man is in his retirement. This is what I was talking about. Like, listen, Cena gets a lot of help for a lot of shit, but Cena Cena be like, I'll just do what they tell me to do. I'm like, sometimes Cena, I'm like, yo, fuck that. There's no if I'm the one turning heel, I should be called first. To be honest with you, to keep it a bean, you call me first. They call Cena last. To be like, hey, you want to do the heel turn? And he was just like, you know what? It's something different. Let's go for it. Because Cena's not going to say no. Which after seeing
once again, this is my only way in a defense of that. And I can thoroughly admit it's not the strongest defense before being said. Even though Cena said he was on par with it years ago. And even though we know Cena's 100% company guy, I can only guess the thought must have been is, if we're going to change his character so drastically that we need to have everybody else involved in this on point first before we present it to this person. And only because maybe if there's any pushback, which there probably wasn't going to be anyway, at least I can use my bullet point of I have talked to this person and they said they're with it because of da-da-da, and break down the bullet points to make it make sense to the person. That's the only defense I could think of.
Okay, which I get what you're saying, which I understand that as well. And but the thing is, I felt as though that you kind of already negate it. To me, if you talk to everybody else first and you don't talk to me, I don't really have a say in anything, then do I? That's how I would feel. If you don't come to me first and I'm the one that's turning heel and I'm John fucking Cena, this is not like, let's go talk to Braun Breaker and see if he want to turn heel or not. Like, no, this is somebody this is John fucking Cena, the one that they called the GOAT. The one who's on his retirement run. He can do really whatever the fuck he wants to do. But he said he was on board with it, so they kept it close knit to the point where nobody, the announcers, the people in the truck, the referee, nobody knew what was going on. All they had to do was somebody said, "Hey, don't close off yet. We're doing something after the Elimination Chamber, so keep the cameras up and stuff like that." But they didn't know what was going to happen. And then so The Rock is backstage talking to Triple H about how he feels as though how the things should go, and he wants to Travis hold him down, Cena hold him down, that he whips Cody, stuff like that. You listen, I just talked to Quattro about this. I want to let people know right now, The Rock and Triple H do not like each other. I don't care what anybody says, they don't like each other. And The Rock was in his feelings because they couldn't go with his storyline. Because even if the Kevin Owens shit they worked, which you wouldn't have, him wanting to turn Cody heel and come with him so they can do their storyline. That's what The Rock wanted to do. And he got overruled, and he was pissed about it. He was pissed about it. He didn't get his way. And that's why his ass left. But they never talked about that. I was mad because they ain't talk about that shit.
The thing is, though, you could have had Cody turn heel on Cena.
But I'm saying that's what The Rock wanted to do. That's what The Rock wanted.
You could have had Cody. You could have had Cody do that without Kevin Owens didn't have to be involved in this. You could have had. Go ahead.
No. It's cool because I was pissed too. But I'm just saying. But even still of turning Cody heel. But the thing is, why? Sometimes heel turns just don't mean just a heel turn. That means everything else. Because if Cena's on a retirement tour, And after, if you turn Cody heel now, then why the hell would Cena win at WrestleMania? Then you would make him fight for it to be a babyface and stop, because you got it. Now you gotta have Cody a heel run. You will give Cody a heel run without the championship? It don't work like that. Especially when this man is the face of the company. Especially when the man is involved in merch. And John Cena, well, no, he don't bring it up until episode 5. But it's episode 5. He did bring up a good point. He said, "Listen, people were booing Cody, but people really didn't hate Cody because he been in business long enough to know." He said when certain things happen, they would have booed or cheered certain things and they didn't, because they it was fun to boo Cody because I'm there, but they didn't hate Cody. Nobody really hates Cody, so turning heel wouldn't have done anything at all, because The Rock comes out his mouth and says that he felt as though the Final Boss is the greatest heel character in wrestling history. What are you smoking? What are you smoking?
It is still wild that he said that. It's like, really, bro?
I was like, it's not. It's not. It may not even be top 5. It was good, but it didn't last. The greatest heel in wrestling is Mr. McMahon, because you legit hate his ass. Underneath that, I will probably put Hollywood Hogan, because you legit hated his ass. There have been hell. I don't even think The Rock has.
Vicky Guerrero was more annoying than the Final Boss.
Hell, like I said, people hated Rick.
I'm gonna agree with that.
More.
Excuse me.
Exactly. People hated Rick Rude more than they hated the Final Boss. The Final Boss was just cool, and he was just playing the heel role. He ain't the greatest heel in wrestling history. What the fuck is wrong? Like, Dwayne really be on some other bullshit recently, man. He really be on some nutty bullshit recently. You know, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So they go along with the plan. They do the heel turn. They tell Travis Scott to lay that shit in, and they show the punch. He black Cody eye out. I'm like, listen, excuse me, I'm putting $1 in the jar. Yo, nigga, run this back, cause I won't have a receipt for Travis Scott's ass. To be completely honest with you, and got the nerve to FaceTime Cody in the back. FaceTime? Nigga, you left? No, come see me face to face. After that slam, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad you like this. I'm glad you're into the wrestling. That's all fine. But nigga, you almost rushed my eardrum and blacked my eye out, stuff like that. Like, yo, bro, like Cody face was fucked up.
That's like the only reason multiple people want Travis Scott to return, for the receipt. We just, like, people want him to come back solely for the receipt and then to go away again and never return.
It's literally. And everybody's in the back, you know, high-fiving about how good the heel turn was and how it made the news. Something like that. And yes, it was a great heel turn, because I was expecting it to come, because John Cena is the ultimate babyface. But the heel run has not been great. It's actually been pretty bad. So then you go into the last episode, which is WrestleMania, and they talk about the highlights of the WrestleMania match. They talk about the Women's Triple Threat match. They talk about Cena versus John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. And I think and Jey Uso. Well, no, you know, honestly, they really didn't even get into Jey Uso winning the championship in the 5th episode. But they, like I said, John Cena talked about how the fans did not really hate Cody like everybody they thought they did, and they knew without really saying it how bad the match was. Even Triple H, when he got to the back, was like, "Listen, you did what you had to do. You know, you got the shit in, and you know, we got to the goal." In other words, the match sucked, but we got you your 17th. We got you your 17th championship. Then the same thing with, like, you know, Io, Bianca, and Rhea. Huh?
I was saying Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley. Yeah. And they had an awesome triple threat match. They showed when Bianca Belair broke her finger. And them in the back, and, you know, Triple H, you know, hugging them and appreciating them and stuff like that. Even though I was like, okay, so y'all not going to show when he hugged Bianca and nothing like that? I got y'all. But anyway, that's just me being petty. But, however, that was basically what the series was. And I understand. That's how I want to explain it to you. I understand, how you feel about it. You feel saying like, I don't want to see how how the sausage is made or how the hot dog is made. To be honest with you, everything that we see in this episode, already.